Oh, well, Chief, how's the team sort of bounce back from the defeat against Auckland?
Sorry,
Just
how?
in terms of morale and...
Oh, morale's fine. Boys are fine. We had a good week of training. Boys are refocused and looking forward to Macarthur Bulls.
You seem to match up quite well with Macarthur. Whenever you've played them in Wellington, you've won by 3 goals. Why do you think that is?
I think it's more stylistically. I think I mentioned this last week. They're a little bit more open as a team, a little bit more expansive, which can actually punish teams, but we kind of feel that kind of suits our style.
Because it's interesting they've scored the most goals, but they've only got 2 wins, so does that suggest that they're a bit vulnerable at the back and there could be some opportunities there?
Oh, it's still early. They're still probably finding their feet. We've got some new players in. For example, like Bratz is in now, Yakulis, they'll probably take some time, like all these teams that have got new players in. I'm pretty sure they'll find their feet and they'll be thereabouts at the end of the season.
Can you explain Tim Payne operating as a striker at some stages during the game on the weekend? What are you sort of hoping to achieve there?
Well, he didn't play as a striker, he played as a winger. He played in a 4-2-4 in the first half, and that was basically to nullify De Vries on the left side, and I thought he played quite well.
Because there were some times, though, where he was more centrally. Was that just because...
No, I think that was more due to the fact of the game where they rotated Costa and Payne just to get a little bit more of a... more of impact of one of them dropping off the line and just countering the moves with opposite movements. And for a large part, I was very happy with Payne. He hasn't played there for a while, but the intent and execution of game plan, he did exactly what was asked.
It seems like Marco's providing you some good impact off the bench now. At what point will he be ready to do that from the first whistle?
Potentially this week, he might be starting. We'll see how training goes today, but obviously every week we're moving closer towards him making a bigger impact with the team.
You're obviously well known for changing things in-game.
Yeah.
Chief, do Macarthur appeal as the kind of side that is more likely to happen against or unlikely to happen against?
Depends on the game, the context. I always change things. I just go with the feel of the game. No different to the Auckland game and the game against Melbourne Victory and Mariners before that. I changed it like 3 or 4 times. It's more of a feel thing, and sometimes you have a game plan and the players try to execute what you're trying to do. Sometimes it doesn't work, so sometimes changing the formation fixes a lot of those problems, and I'll do no different. And it just really depends on how Macarthur play on the day and what our players do as well.
Does it increase the information you have to give to your players when they know that within a game they might have to change 2, 3, 4 times or more?
Of course, every move is information-based, but again, we're a principle-based team, so whether you play a 4-3-3 or a 3-4-3, things don't change in terms of intention, just ideas and where the vulnerability is and where the space is and so on. So is there more information? I don't think there is really, because again, they'll play what's in front of them, and a lot of the game is really based on instinct, and just our job is to make sure that they can see that. And
in terms of the way you start the game tomorrow, we've seen you start with a back 4 and with a back 3 and wing backs. How do you make those decisions?
It really depends on the opposition, what they give us, and we plan accordingly. I mean, again, I think my preference is always to have a 4 when we have our strongest team, but sometimes the 5 might nullify teams that love loading the line. Makes it easier. We did that at the beginning part of the year. We thought it was a good solution. But again, if you want to be a little bit more expansive on the front foot, I think back 4 means that you can put 1 extra player up top, whether it be a midfielder or attacker. But it also depends on personnel as well. So I think it's not an easy thing to answer because it really depends on the circumstances. But if I had everyone available and I was wanting to be on the front foot from the very start, and I had the players that can come off the bench and finish the game plan, a 4 would be the ideal.
So that sounds like the scenario you've got tomorrow. Everybody available, want to get on the front foot, or you're at home, all that stuff. So back 4 tomorrow?
Potentially, we'll see.
How determined are you to get that first win at home? Obviously you haven't had too many, but you haven't won a game in Wellington yet.
Well, I think that goes without saying. I mean, any coach that doesn't want to win at home. I mean, every game we want to win, whether it's at home or away.
Cool. Can I ask too, so Nathan Walker, just the story of how you identified him, just doing a story for a few weeks, but he was someone who came down, joined the academy at the start of the year, but has been with the first team? For
Yeah,
most of the
probably similar to Gab Rodriguez the year before. Watched a couple of academy games, caught the eye, and then we extended the invitation out to him and a bunch of boys from the academy for the training period in pre-season. Did very well. Athletically very good, technically very sound, and played against South Melbourne. I'm very happy with his outputs, and we just felt as though he listened as well, which is a good thing. And we played him at wing back, played him as a winger, and adapted quite well.
How do you balance that with some of those other guys who maybe signed contracts before him around a similar age, but he sort of jumped the queue, I suppose?
I think that's natural. It's normal. Development is not linear. Slides all the way up. There's like bumps along the road, but with those other boys that are not in contention at the moment, their time will come. It's just more about, the right circumstance for them to start, maturity. All those things all those boxes need to be ticked before they can make that next step. And sometimes, with these young players, no different to last year, the year before, and 3 years before that, you expose them. Sometimes they can handle it. Then the consistency part becomes very vital. Sometimes they can't, or sometimes they get a little bit too big for their boots and they need to be reined in a little bit. It's just, every player is different.
And a few questions from Victor Water at One News. What's been your message to the team following the Derby defeat?
No, it's business as usual. I was very proud of the playing group after the game. I mean, it's oversaid, but they did exactly what I asked. I think that in small parts, execution-wise, we could have been a little bit better. Sometimes we're a little bit sloppy with the ball, and we had some really big moments that we failed to capitalise on. But again, I said in the post-match conference, a lot of teams at 2-0 would have given up. We were still on the front foot. We were still trying to break them down. We scored, and I just felt if we had another 5 minutes, I think, a little bit, sharper in that final third, we could have really punished them.
You touched on it a bit there, but what positives did you take out of the match?
Oh, the positives was it was a great game to be part of, and that whole playing group as a collective, that playing group itself, with the new players and so on, that's an experience that we can lean on now for the rest of the season, and we can learn off that. Means that we'll mature as a team, and again, for the moments that you saw us put it together, we look very good. It's just now a matter of building more of a consistency and a baseline for that performance.
And does tomorrow's game represent a good opportunity for the team to get back on the horse?
Always, every game. I don't know a coach or anyone in the world that doesn't want to win every game. For us, whether we win 5 games, the next game, and so on, it's the same. The focus is making sure the performance is good, and usually if the performance is good, then the results will come.